The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals yesterday did another way outside of the box ruling when it comes to our Second Amendment, and they decided that Maryland's license to own a handgun passes constitutional muster. Good news and bad news on this. The bad news is the en banc panel decided 14-2 that Maryland's handgun qualification license, it's an HQL is what they call it, that it passes constitutional muster because it's a way to ensure that the prospective gun owner is law-abiding. But the two dissenting justices kind of destroyed them, saying that their decision violates the Bruin standard, and nowhere in the text, history, or tradition of this country did someone have to jump through hoops to prove they were law-abiding to possess, own, and bear firearms. And before we jump into what the judge said, this video is brought to us by the Sonoran Desert Institute. Guys, if you are interested in learning to be a gunsmith or an armorer and be able to have a certification from an accredited college, check out sdi.edu/GNG. You can look at all their course selections and learn more. SDI will send all of the tools and materials you need for the hands-on learning right to your doorstep. So check them out. All the information, all the questions you're asking, the answers are right on their website, sdi.edu/GNG. You can give them a call as well. They'd be happy to hear from you. And now let's get back to this video. Circuit Judge Richardson, in his dissent, said this: Maryland law prohibits anyone from acquiring a handgun without a handgun qualification license. To obtain a license, an applicant must, among other things, submit fingerprints for a background check and take a 4-hour-long firearms safety training course, all at the applicant's expense. And that also has a live fire segment to it as well. If an applicant completes these requirements, fills out an application, and pays the required $50 fee, then the Secretary of State Police shall issue a license within 30 days. So without getting too far down this rabbit hole for you, many people in states that have licenses to carry firearms as a requirement, Massachusetts, looking at you, we have always thought, I mean, if you agree with the founders and you believe that the Second Amendment is not something that we need to ask for permission to utilize, well then licenses to carry are unconstitutional and illegal because they don't pass any of the tests for the Second Amendment, more specifically Bruin. They're not in the text. The plain text of the Second Amendment doesn't say anything about a qualification license, nor does the historical tradition of firearm regulation in this country mandate that. And remember, we're going back to 1791 when we were talking about the Second Amendment being adopted and ratified. So Maryland shall issue, this is their lawsuit, this is what their response was. Oh, before I even get to their response, the 3-judge panel in November this past year in 2023, the 3-judge panel said that this handgun qualification license is unconstitutional. It violates the Second Amendment. So the en banc panel did the end around, just like they did for the assault weapon ban 2 weeks ago. And Maryland shall issue said this as a response. This is directly from their X post. It says, the Fourth Circuit today rejected our constitutional challenge to Maryland's handgun qualification license requirement, holding that the law did not even infringe on the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. We believe that holding is contrary to controlling Supreme Court precedent and is plainly wrong as a matter of common sense. The majority opinion is, in the words of the dissent, baseless. The petition for certiorari to the Supreme Court practically writes itself. And that's big news too, because Maryland shall issue is going to do a writ of certiorari asking the Supreme Court to take this up. Why is that good news? Because we are now at a decision, a final decision based on the merits of the case, meaning there's no more back and forth. It can't go to any other levels at the circuit, the appellate level. And now we're talking Supreme Court. Now, will the Supreme Court take this case up is another issue all of its own, because now there would be, in theory, if assuming Maryland shall issue fills out the writ of certiorari and submits it, there'll be 2 cases looking for the Supreme Court to take up issues from the Fourth Circuit. The assault weapon and magazine ban that I did a video on yesterday, the day before, and then now handgun qualification licenses or permits to carry. So this could be big. Again, I think that the Bruin decision is destroying a lot of the gun control that the anti-gunners on both sides of the aisle have been leaning on for the last 30 to 40 years, and they're all starting to crumble, which is why they're pushing so hard for Kamala to be ordained as president, because she will do things to ensure the Second Amendment continues to die by a death of 1,000 cuts, including the potential retirement of Justices Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas at the Supreme Court. So stay up to date with this stuff, guys. I will bring you all the information. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that little red button. It doesn't cost you a red cent, but what it does do is keep you in the loop when it comes to the Second Amendment. I put out videos every single day, often 2 times a day, sometimes more. And I appreciate you being here. Till we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. I'll see you all on the next one. Have a great day. Take care.